Hey everybody. Oh, sorry, music's going. So, totally unscheduled, but I was inspired by something today and I wanted to come on here and share with all of you. So, hello to everybody. Happy Sunday. Coach Steph here. So, I was on my drive home. Hello, Miss Katie. And I wanted to share it with you. So, I am sort of admitting that I am a type A person. I am the person who is always, striving for more and go, go, go. Hi, Sophia. And I've always been highly critical of myself. Now, I kind of just thought it was because of, the way I was raised in some ways. And then a lot of it I thought was me just wanting more for my life, right? Me just never, the perfectionist, I guess, part of me. What I came to understand today after listening to Mel Robbins' new Audible book, I don't know if you guys have had a chance to do it, but it's basically 10 hours of coaching and it's freaking amazing. Anyway, in one of the coaching sessions, she's talking to, hi guys, if you guys have joined me live, #live, if you catch me on the replay, #replay. In one of the coaching sessions, she's talking to a woman who grew up in a household where her parents were really pushing her, always driving her, right? For more and better. Highly critical of her. And she became a perfectionist. She became the person who, always wanted to do better, but then ended up in what I call the perfectionist loop. I don't know if you guys have ever caught my training on that, but that's a whole nother training in and of itself, is this perfectionist loop we get caught in. Anyway, and so she was doing that, and, that she was highly critical of herself. And Mel said something to me that was hands down one of the biggest epiphanies I have ever had in my adult life. Now, you guys know I have done a crap ton of personal development in the last 2 years of my life, and I have grown and created such awarenesses for myself that are, really, really pivotal. And I am a completely different person in a lot of ways because of all of that I've been through in the last 2 months, or the 2 years. But here's something that I found out or realized today, and I thought that it would all serve you all as well. And it's this. If you are a highly critical person of yourself, ask yourself why. So for me, my answer always was, well, I'm just a perfectionist. I'm trying to live up to the standards of my parents that I never felt like I did stand up to, or I always want more for myself. I'm just striving to be better. Here's the thing that you guys might want to try and ask yourself. Are you being highly critical of yourself as a defense mechanism? Now let this sink that in for a second. So if you guys are highly critical of yourself, if you're critical of yourself, drop a 1 in the comments. And if you feel like you are really hard on yourself, like you get to the end of the day and you beat yourself up for all the crap you didn't get done, or you're the first one in a group when you're talking about something to point out your own flaws. Oh yeah, I totally suck at that. Or, oh yeah, no, I totally at least have 20 pounds to lose. I hate the way my body looks like right now. Or, oh yeah, my hair is always a fucking mess. If that's you, drop 1 in the comments. Because here's the thing that I learned today about that. It's a defense mechanism. And I know that sounds really weird, but think about it. If you're the first one to speak up and say what's wrong with you, then nobody else can. Then guess what? Nobody else can point it out and you won't get hurt. So it's almost like you are punching yourself in the face. This is the analogy that Mel Robbins used. You're punching yourself in the face so that somebody else doesn't do it. But here's the thing, guys. When we do it to ourselves, it's even more painful. Excuse my no makeup. It's even more painful. Because we need to be the ones out of anybody that's our biggest cheerleaders. Forget everybody else. It needs to be intrinsic. And if all we're doing both internally, having that negative dialogue to ourselves where we're like, oh, I'm never going to amount to anything, blah, 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 all those negative shit we say to ourselves. But if then we're right, if we're then turning it around and then also doing it externally, first of all, what are we saying to other people about how we feel about ourselves? Right? Kind of like my live on Friday when that woman was like, "Oh, I love your legs," and I was like, "Oh," and I joked it off. And this was the other piece that I forgot to mention on Friday. When I said that to her, she almost was like, "Wow!" Like she was almost, in a sense, I feel like almost offended that I didn't just accept her compliment, right? Like she was going out of her way to pay me a compliment, and I just tried to poo-poo it, And I think, if you turn around and try and pay somebody a compliment and then they just kind of poo-poo it, what are you really saying to them? What are you saying about what they said to you? And what are you saying about yourself? And the same thing goes for criticism. So if you're the first person to stand up and be like, "Oh, I totally suck at doing a Facebook Live," or "I totally suck," you're in a group of friends and you're the first one to call yourself out, what are you saying about yourself to those people? You're saying, "I don't really care about myself. I don't look at myself highly. I don't love myself. And I'm going to point it out to everybody in the room." Now, there's a difference between being highly critical of yourself and being open and vulnerable, saying, "Yeah, I screwed that up once, but this is what I did to fix it," or "This is where I'm coming from right now." But that's not being critical of yourself, right? There's a difference between being vulnerable and then being self-critical. But what I'd invite you guys to try and think about on this Sunday afternoon, evening, depending on where you are. Hi, guys. Hi, Lauren. Hi, Tessa. Hi, Sherry. Is where in your life are you highly critical, not only internally where you have a negative dialogue, but externally to other people? And think about why it is that you do that. And I'd invite you to try and think of the possibility that maybe you're doing it as a defense mechanism so that you don't have to hear anybody else tell you that negative thing. That if you put it out there, nobody's going to turn around and say it to you, and then you won't get hurt. Anyway, I hope you guys all have a great rest of your weekend. Take care. Bye-bye.